England's most capped footballer of all time is Fara Williams, and I'm delighted to say that Fara Simon joins us live on the show. Fara, what's left of it, good morning to you. How do you feel about it? Are you in full gear now thinking, yeah, this thing's almost upon us, and my goodness, England have a major chance of coming out on top, or do they?
Yeah, exactly that. I think it's been a long wait for the Euros to kick off. Switzerland have promised for it to be better than what England hosted in 2022 when they won it. And the England team looking good shape at the minute. I know they beat a weak and Jamaican team at the weekend 7-0, and there was a lot of talk about the opposition they faced going into the tournament. But for England, it was about getting players back on the pitch, back from injury, getting some loading into them. And going into the tournament full of confidence, scoring goals and keeping clean sheets, and they did just that. So they've got a great chance. They're probably in the group of death. If you look at the groups, they've got France and the Netherlands, and then obviously Wales, which will make it difficult for them. But they're more than capable of progressing out of the group.
You're right, Farah. Group D: England, France, Netherlands, and Wales. I'll get to Wales because it's a real adventure for them. We saw the under-21 boys do it at the weekend, and they retained their title. Is it a tough thing to do? Is it a big ask for the girls here to retain their title?
Absolutely. I think the teams within Europe, in terms of the investment that's been put in over the years, has certainly made bridged the gap between the very best in Europe and the rest of the pack. So it's a lot more difficult to go back to back. I mean, what we do know is that Serena hasn't lost a game. She's won every game she's competed in as a manager in the European Championship. So she's done it with the Netherlands and England. So she doesn't know what it feels like to lose. So that gives us great confidence. But it's always difficult to go back-to-back champions. And they'll know that. And the pressure will be, enhanced even more than what it was in 2022. So there's a lot of pressure on them to bring it back. But they're in a good position, as I mentioned. They've got a great squad. And fingers crossed we avoid the Germans and Spain on the route to the final.
They could be close challengers, I would have thought. Millie Bright not going to be there. Mary Earps not going to be there. Fran Kirby not going to be there. Mary Earps believes she was villainised after her retirement from international football, and that provoked a lot of criticism, did it not? Where do you stand on that, Far? Is it unfair?
I think so. I think each to their own. I think, when you've played football for that long, and certainly when you represent England, I know some players sometimes feel the heat in terms of time away and the commitment that it is to play for your national team. And I think it was more the timing of her decision, a week before the meet-up for camp. I think it left a sour taste in some of the fans, and obviously she's a big part of this England squad. And she got beat for best goalkeeper 2 years on the bounce, 2022 and 2023. So she's a big character within the team. So I think the fans were disappointed with maybe the timing of it, but I think everybody's entitled to a decision, and if that's the right one for Mary, then that's the right one for her.
Yeah, I think it was timing, wasn't it, Simon? Especially with Mary Earps, as Farah has said. If you remember that squad, Mary's suddenly not involved.
I don't know the personalities, but if you've been a number one choice goalkeeper and you're now being put in a situation where you're not going to be, it's a difficult choice to make. Is the team in good nick though? I mean, I'm looking at the results, Farah. The last two of them, the last two of the competitive games, they've lost to Belgium and Spain. Do they go, and despite the result against Jamaica, do they go into it in good fettle with those sort of losses leading up to a tournament?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they've been really inconsistent. I think that's been the frustration with this team, certainly since getting to that World Cup final. They've been really inconsistent off the back of that. But they've had a lot of injuries. The likes of Lauren James, Lauren Hemp and Alex Greenwood, three key players within the team have been injured in those games, weren't able to participate. And I think, they're in key positions, centre-half and centre-mid. I think those two key positions within the team, they didn't really have any replacement. But those three players are back, and they're back and looking fresh. So I think it will be difficult for them in terms of that will be playing on their mind, that they've lost to top nations. That defeat to Spain after managing the first half and going 1-0 up and then losing that second half. But they made many changes. They were looking at players in that final game going into the Euros and selection. So it's been a difficult year for them, I would say, in terms of that and the consistency. But I think that result will do them the world of beating Jamaica. 7-0, really good performance.
And finally, Farah, I mean, there's been a lot of talk about legacy after the last Euros win. Here we go again. Is legacy important?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you look at the impact that these lionesses had in 2022, and the amount of people, young girls that started participating in football off the back of that. And I think, you know, the National Lottery, I'm doing the big football day on Saturday with them, and that's going to run across the whole of the Euros for a month, and their investment in the game and really giving opportunities to young girls. But I think without what the Lionesses did, I don't think we'd have had, you know, the visibility of the women's game. So, of course, legacy is really important for these players.
Fantastic. Fara Williams, thank you so much for being with us. One day to go to the Women's Euros over in Switzerland. You will not miss a trick live on talkSPORT.